All right, we're going to take a look at this packet. This is for level 4 for the Welcome to 6th grade unit. You'll be looking at qualitative and quantitative observations, and you'll also be working on making inferences. And then there'll be another part of it where you observe another group. Maybe they can be the other group can be working on like maybe one of these challenges, or maybe the other group is just playing a game or something. But you're going to observe that other group, make some qualitative and quantitative observations about them, and then also make inferences on how they do as a group, what their group work skills are. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this packet because I kind of want to give you directions for this. This first page is about making qualitative and quantitative observations. You're going to want to read through this. It's pretty clear for 6th grade level. And as you read, you'll want to underline or highlight definitions and examples. So the definition of qualitative observation, the definition of quantitative observation, and then maybe some examples you can highlight too. And I'll be looking at that, looking at your notes. Basically, a qualitative observation is based on qualities like your 5 senses. So if you notice the color of something, or its smell, or its texture, its touch, or how something sounds. We don't taste too many things, but taste could also be a qualitative observation. And a quantitative observation, you hear the word quantity in the word quantitative. So a quantitative observation is going to be based on numbers. It's going to include numbers. So that could be a measurement or a mass or a temperature. But quantitative observations are based on numbers. It's important that we make both of those observations in science. Okay, so read this document and highlight or underline some important definitions and examples. And you can work with partners on all of this, since our main goal is to work productively and cooperatively with peers. So this activity is answering some questions, labeling these statements as either qualitative or quantitative. And down here, you're going to write 5 observations from school today in complete sentences and label those observations as qualitative or quantitative. I guess if it was I guess sometimes it could be both too. And work with a partner on this, and I'll be checking it over. This document, it's optional, sort of. We're gonna do an Edmodo quiz with these questions. So this is kind of like a really easy study guide because the quiz is going to be the same as what you're looking at right here. So if you want to do this with a partner as practice, and then we'll take it on Edmodo towards the end of this week. Also, I think we might try it as a Kahoot quiz too. So it's just kind of like a free study guide for you. Okay, now the other skill we'll be working on, and the other worksheets that you'll be working on, is making inferences, inferring. So this is a pretty good worksheet here, a pretty good explanation of making inferences. Basically, an inference is like a prediction, but you're basing your inference on your observations. So all these qualitative and quantitative observations that you do, then you use that information to make an inference, where you're kind of explaining what's going on. So for this activity, you'll look at these animals and make observations like, oh, there's 4 animals and there's 1 tree. This animal is looking towards me. That would be an observation. But then you can make inferences based on that, like, well, the animals aren't attacking each other, so they must not be, predator and prey. Okay, so an inference kind of explains your observation. So read through this, and again, underline examples, underline definitions, and I'll be looking at what you underlined. And this just continued onto this page, so keep reading and underlining or highlighting important info. Read through these tips, very useful, and then answer this checkpoint question as well. Okay? And then the final inference activity is the skulls. So let me read the directions. It says the diagram below shows the skulls of 9 different mammals. The skulls are not drawn to scale. Observe the diagram and then answer the questions that follow. Write your answers on the back of this sheet or on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, so you're going to observe these 9 skulls and then answer these 1, 2, 3, 10 questions. And you can answer them on a separate sheet of paper, or if you can write really small, you can fill in right there. Couple things about this. These 9 skulls here, they're all animals that are currently living on Earth. None of them are dinosaurs, so don't think, oh, that looks like a pterodactyl. I don't know. But they're all animals, mammals that are living today, running around the Earth somewhere. Also, they're not all, like in the pictures, they all look like they're the same size, but some of these might be really big, some of them might be really small mammals. So don't get fooled that like this one looks really big and this one looks really big. This one could be small and this one could be medium and this one could be large. I'm not sure. So just make observations and about the skulls, and then you use those observations to infer like what does this animal eat compared to what this animal eats, and is this animal a predator or is this animal a prey? Okay, so it's an interesting activity. Work with a partner, work cooperatively and productively with your partner to complete this. It's an interesting activity, and you really have to have some discussion with your partner and share ideas, and maybe you have one idea but then your partner has another idea and you decide that your partner's idea was a little bit better than yours. So use all your good group work skills with your partner. Okay? All right, so that's for level 4 to work through the packet.